One of the best free tools I've ever encountered, and in this case use every day, is called Google Mail, or Gmail for short. Having a Gmail account is more than just an email client. It's kind of like having the key to the Google castle of cool tools. This video will introduce you to the various items in the Gmail interface. I've already opened up my Gmail account here in the inbox area. So let's go ahead and poke around and check out some of the different features. Starting over here in the top left, if we hit this drop down arrow here to the right of Gmail, you'll be able to see the three various items you have access to here. Right now we're in the Gmail. You can also monitor, add to, and organize your contacts, as well as your tasks. Now, this search bar, this is not for the Google search, this is for your Gmail search. So after you have half a bazillion different emails in here throughout your entire Gmail account, you can start to use this as one way to locate various emails. There's a lot of other tools at your disposal within Gmail to help keep things organized. This is just one way to help find them. Kind of moving across the top here, I've noticed that in some of my Gmail accounts, this area here is a little different. So if yours is just kind of plain Jane and it doesn't have this bell or this share, there's a good chance this is because you do not yet have a Google Plus account set up within your Google account that's associated with your Gmail account. So just keep that in mind. This one does have a Google Plus account set up. Now this is where you would add your image, and if you don't yet have an image in here like this one does not, you can do that a couple of ways. Through your actual settings, through your Google account, and you can access that here, or you can just hover over your image here and change your profile photo here. Moving on down, here's where you can access your Gmail settings. If you hit that drop down arrow just to the right of the gear icon, you can check out the various looks of your user interface: compact, cozy, or comfortable. Basically, this is, as it says here, the density. How much space is being taken up, showing all the information on your user interface. Myself, I prefer compact because you get more information up here. Now, as I get older and my eyes get worse, I may decide to go more into the cozy or comfortable. And here's where you can configure your inbox, check out settings, and change the look of your Gmail through the themes, and of course the all-important help section. Loads of information in here. And here's where you see the read or the unread emails. And as it says here in the inbox, this number 3 tells me that there are 3 emails that have yet to be read. And you can tell by looking at your inbox, those that are bold have yet to be read. Those that are not bold have already been read. And up here at the top, above your emails, you've got these options here where you can refresh, you can check or uncheck the boxes here, or more. Now you can add additional features here as soon as you click on or check the box of a particular email, like so. Now at this point, you can archive, report as spam, send it to the trash can, move it to, or add labels or manage your labels. And you've also got the more option here where you can mark as read, important, add to task, add star, filter messages like these, or mute it out altogether. Now, talking about the important and the star, that's these guys here, and that's this and this. This here is a star, and this here is an important designation. Let's go ahead and make this a star, and you can see it just lights up as a star. If you want to make this important, you see right up here it's been marked as important. These two are pretty much the same in that they are just a bookmarking method, for lack of a better term, except with the important designation. Over time, Gmail will learn from those that you mark as important and begin to mark them as important as they come into your inbox. So be aware of that. If you notice some that are marked as important that you yourself did not mark as important, that's because Gmail is learning from your actions. And also, these will show up in the starred and the important folders over here, like so and like so. So normally, you would not mark it as starred and important. It would be one or the other. And whenever you open up your email, you can see you've got all this information here. Now, moving over here to the left, you've got these various labels. Some folks refer to them as folders, but they're technically called labels. And if you send an email either to the spam label or folder or the trash label or folder, Gmail will automatically delete them after 30 days. And of course, your sent mail, pretty obvious what that is. That's where you have composed and sent the mail out. Whenever you start to compose and have yet to send it out, they are going to be stored in your drafts until you hit the send button. And let's hit the more button here. Hitting the more button here, you can check out the chat history, and I believe by default that's toggled on. You can toggle that off if you want to, and that again is in the settings area. Now you see how this is constantly popping up and down here. You can adjust that. Let's get out of here. Right up here, you can see those 3 dots. If you hover over that, you get this icon like this. Left click, hold, and drag that to where you want. Usually it'd be right down to the very bottom, and that will prevent it from having to pop up and down. Now this all mail, just like it sounds, any email that you've ever received that you've not yet deleted will show up here. And we've already talked about the spam and the trash. And here's where you can manage and create your labels as well. So if you want to add these guys here, that's where you would go to do it. This is where you can access your Hangouts right here. And before I close things out, I want to mention up here about your advertisements. These are what's called interest-based ads. In other words, through information you've provided Google through your registration process, and that information is what Google uses to provide you with these interest-based advertisements. If you want to adjust that, you can do that right here by clicking on Why This Ad. Come on down here, click on Ad Settings. Click on Control Your Ad Settings and make whatever adjustments you want. Now, a warning though, if you click on the Opt Out thinking that this will get you out of the ads, it won't. This will simply opt you out of the interest-based ads, meaning you'll get ads on anything and everything. So if you are going to get ads, why not just get ads that you possibly would be interested in? If you want to opt out of the ads altogether, here's what you do. You come on over here to your settings. Hit that, come on down to settings, and that's basically called web clips. Click on that, untick this box here, come on back to your inbox, and no more ads. And that's going to bring us to the end of this video on an introduction to the Gmail user interface. Thanks for watching, and you have a great day. This video will demonstrate a few ways to customize the layout of your Gmail user interface. Now, I've already logged into my Gmail account here, and one way is the number of emails that are shown by default. Now, there's not a whole lot of emails in here right now, but if you are a regular user of Gmail, then you know that it won't take long before this quickly fills up. By default, there is, I believe, 25 that are shown before you have to start scrolling to the next 25 and so on. To change that, you come on in here to your settings, which is right here next to the gear icon. Hit that drop down arrow, come on down to settings, and right here I've got mine set to 50. That might be the default as well, I'm not sure, but you can change that by hitting this drop down arrow, and you can have 10 shown all the way up to 100 shown before you have to start scrolling by hitting that right or left button. Now, while I'm here, another customization you can make is your Hangouts and chats can be moved over to the right side with the use of a lab. And you would do that by coming up here to labs. Again, once you've gone into your settings area by hitting that drop down arrow next to the gear icon in the top right corner, come on over here to labs, and you can search for the lab if you don't know exactly the name of it, and frankly I don't, but I think it's Chats on Right or something like that. But I'm just going to type in right side chat. Here we are. Click on Enable, and then as soon as you click on Save Changes, it will restart your Gmail account with the changes taking place. And here we are. Another customization you can make is by changing the overall look of your user interface and how dense that information is being shown to you. And you do that by coming up here to the settings, and you choose between compact, cozy, or comfortable. And again, this is just the display density. Let me just toggle through these to show you what it looks like. You see, comfortable takes up more space, but it's easier to see. And compact takes up less space, so you can get more information on the page. So that's just more of a personal preference than anything else. Another customization is the overall look, the theme, if you will. And you can adjust the theme, again, by coming up here to the settings, clicking on Themes, and by default, it's the light color theme. And you can change the color of the theme by these guys right here, or you can use one of these HD themes, and any of these that have the little asterisk in the top right corner are pretty cool because they will also change the look depending upon your physical location and the time of day. For example, if we were to go with this beach scene, right now, as I'm recording this, it's about 10 o'clock in the morning and it's clear skies. Now, if it were nighttime, then this would be a little bit different. And if it were stormy outside, then this would be a little bit different. Pretty cool. Another option is changing to the light or dark custom themes. And here you can even upload your own photos. So if you've got a photo of your dog or your cat or your children, and you want to have that as the background image, you've got that ability here. And moving on down the line here, you have what's called classic themes, where they're more of a cartoony type look. And if that's your cup of tea, then you have that option right here. Something else to consider is that if you, like me, have many Gmail accounts, then you may decide to color code them, maybe depending upon the niche that that particular Gmail account represents, or whatever reason you might have to change the theme of your Gmail account. Could be just for cosmetic reasons or for organizational purposes. And that's going to bring us to the end of this video on customizing the layout of your Gmail user interface. If you've been online for any length of time, you've probably already sent and received an email or two. This video will detail the composing, sending, and receiving of emails using Gmail. Now be sure and watch this entire video. Who knows, you might learn something new that can save you loads of time from here on out. And the first thing we want to do whenever we want to compose an email, come on over here. Of course, you want to open up your Gmail account first, but then you come over here to compose and just click on that button. This guy pops up. Now, if you're not familiar with the new look of Gmail, then you might be used to this not popping up. Instead, you might be used to the old way. Now, let me just go ahead and show you. Over here, temporarily switch back. And when we go to compose under the old way, this is what happens. Now, let's go ahead and go back, because I frankly like the new way, because right now everything is pretty much only under compose. That's all you can do. But if we come back here, with this pop-up, you are also able to go through additional functions of your Gmail account. For example, if you wanted to check out some contacts, we come on up here and you get your list of contacts. Of course, this being a new Gmail account for this demonstration, there's no contacts in here. My point though is that this pop-up stays right up here front and center, which allows you to do additional items here that might be related to this particular email you're about to send out. So that's the difference between the new and the old. Everything else is pretty much the same. Basic stuff. You've got your CC here, where it's a basic carbon copy that the primary receiver of this email will know that this person or people are getting the same email that they are receiving. The BCC, or blind carbon copy, the primary receiver of this email will not know they are getting that. And if we just put in an email here, let's try an email to my dummy account here. And the subject's going to be, of course, the all-important test. But one thing I wanted to point out too is, though, you can see this is kind of in a little compartment of sorts. If we were to, say, send a BCC, and then once you've got to the end of the email address, if you hit the space bar or move anywhere else, then it's going to put that email address into that little box. The thing about this is that you can add additional emails, but you can also left click, hold, and drag this guy around. For example, if we wanted to also CC, we can drag this up here, and instead of it going to a blind carbon copy, it can go to a carbon copy. My point being, you can drag these guys around. Pretty nifty, huh? Anyway, in addition to that, you also have your basic formatting functions, just like the old way. Come on down here, click on the A with the underline, and you've got your basic formatting functions. And if you don't like what you formatted, hit this guy here, and it will remove all the formatting of the items you have highlighted. Also, you hover over this area down here, you've got some additional options where you can add emoticons or smileys, add a link, an image or a photo, and files from your Google Drive, which is also right up here. And you could also add an attachment. And if you don't want to send this out, you can go ahead and trash it right here. Let's go ahead and send this. Wait, let's go ahead and, since I'm not sure who example@test.com is, since that might be an actual email address, let's go ahead and send it to this guy here to demonstrate the sending. Okay, so we've got the send, we've got the compose. Now let's come on back here to my Gmail inbox and check out the receiving, because that email account that I sent that to does not exist. And if we check this email out that we received, you see you have some additional information over here, like ads and such, and you've got some additional actions here that you can take, where you might want to add them to your contacts or check out any additional mail that you might have received from them. And that concludes this video on composing, sending, and receiving emails using your Gmail account. Thanks for watching, and you have a great day. This video will walk you through the general settings of your Gmail account. First off, we need to open up our Gmail account. Done. Secondly, you can get to your settings actually a couple of different ways, but the way I'm going to show you is by coming up here to the top right corner and hitting this drop down arrow next to this gear icon. And as you hover over that, you can see it says settings, but there's a few other items in here as well. So we want to come on down here and select settings and left click on that. And here we are under the settings general. And right up here at the top, you can display the language that will be shown, and mine by default is English. If you use the phone chat, you can adjust the default country code, maximum page size. This just shows the number of conversations or contacts per page. And if we open up my Gmail in another tab here, this is what we're talking about. Currently mine is set to 50. So if I had 100 of them in here, then it would show 50 on page 1, then a little icon down here or up here that says go to page 2 or the next page. Or we can adjust that all the way up to 100. I myself, in my other more active accounts, I would show 100. That way I just have more on the page that I can navigate through. Likewise with contacts per page. External content. Gmail tends to restrict showing images, for example, because some hackers will use images as a way to inject Trojans or malicious code into your Gmail account. And as such, Gmail will by default not show a lot of images until you tell Gmail otherwise. With this checked, Gmail already has a list of trusted senders, and you want to learn more, you can just click on that link there, that they do show those images, like Ford or General Motors and such. But if you don't want that, then you can always just tick this box here, ask before displaying external content. This is probably a more safe way, but this is the default and really isn't that bad. Totally up to you. Browser connection. Always use HTTPS, and in the settings that I have right now, that is the only option available to me. And you can also click here to learn more about that. But as it says here under my particular settings, to adjust this out of using HTTPS always, I'd have to do so through my browser settings. Default reply behavior. Both the default reply behavior and the default text styles are just that, defaults. You can make further adjustments in the emails themselves, but if you don't want to make adjustments there, you can adjust the default settings right here. Conversation view. I prefer this to be on. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. If we come up here to my emails, you can see right here, there's a number 2 right here in this particular email that I've received. That means that there are 2 conversations taking place related to this same email. If we open this up, we can see that both of those conversations are in this same box. And that's because conversation view is on. If this were off, then these 2 emails would be separate emails. That can be rather confusing, especially if you have a lot of conversations in your various emails. You would have to go through and hunt those down to be able to see them all, similar to that of a threaded conversation or comments section in a blog. So for me, conversation view should always be on. Again, another personal preference. As you'll find, that's the case with a lot of the stuff in here, just personal preferences. Send and archive. I have this as show on mine, but you can hide that as well. Stars. Stars and important, these guys here, are pretty much the same thing insofar as a way to organize your emails, and by default you only have the 1 gold star or yellow star. You can adjust this by adding 4 stars to choose from or all stars to choose from. I myself do not use this option. I use labels instead. Desktop notification. Pretty self-explanatory there. You also, if it's set up, have a desktop notification for chats as well as those for your emails. Keyboard shortcuts. By default, with the keyboard shortcuts being turned off, you still have access to some of the basic keyboard shortcuts within your Gmail account, but there are some more advanced shortcuts that are not enabled. That to get them enabled, you can learn more about that here. And you would just check this radio button here. Button labels. Right now they're on icons. If you come on up here, you can see these are the icons that I'm referring to. If you wanted those to be listed as text instead, and you would just check that radio button. And then instead of this being an icon for archive, it would actually say archive. Likewise with this one, it would say report spam instead of having the icon there. Basically the default setting, you get both. You hover over this and you have the icon and the text. And if you want to include an image of yourself or an image period in all the emails that you send out, this is where you go to do that. The people widget. If you want to have information about that person that you're receiving email from showing up over here on the right, then this is the radio button you want checked. And by default, that's what it is. And if you want to hide that, then you can just check that radio button. And like with many of these other ones here, you can just click on the Learn More option to find out more details about this particular feature. Create contacts for autocomplete. By default, Gmail automatically adds these to your contacts list. If you don't want that, then you can just check that radio button there and just add them yourself. I myself prefer that this be automatic. That way I can always delete those automatically added contents, but I may not always remember to add those contacts. And that's why I prefer it to be automatic. Important signals for ads. You can adjust that however you want. Signature, this is pretty important. Right now, by default, no signature is checked. If you want to add a signature, you can put in here whatever you want, and every time you send out an email, this is going to be your default signature. For example, if you want to put in here a couple of your website URLs and maybe some catch line, whatever you want to put in here, it's totally up to you, and you've got these formatting options as well. Personal level indicators, play around with this as much as you want to see if this is an item that you want to be activated. And under snippets, I prefer to have snippets shown. It just gives me a little bit more of an idea as to what I might be looking at in that email. And if it's something that's not too important based on the snippet that I see, then I can always just skip that and come back to it later. Vacation responder, this can come in pretty handy. Pretty self-explanatory. If you plan on being away from your Gmail account for any length of time, then you can put in an autoresponder of sorts that will go out to the people that send you emails saying basically whatever you want to put in here. I'm on vacation right now. I'll get back to you as soon as I get back. And outgoing message encoding. I would just leave this at default unless you find the need to change this. But more times than not, the default setting is the way you should go. And then any adjustments you make here, be sure to click on Save Changes. Otherwise, they're not going to take. And that's going to bring us to the end of this video on your General Settings tab in your Gmail account. Thanks for watching, and you have a great day. There are loads of ways to help keep your emails organized in Gmail. This video will cover using and managing the labels feature. Now, I've already got my Gmail account opened up here in the inbox area. After you've read an email, one of two things are going to happen. You're either going to delete that email or you're going to keep it. Right then and there, if you're going to decide to keep that email, you should also decide what to do with it so that later on, you can more easily find it. That's where the labels feature can help out a great deal. Now, you can get to the labels feature a couple of different ways, either by selecting the email or opening it up, and this toolbar will pop up here, or you can select the email that you want to add the label to, and over here under the More drop down, just click on that and come on down here and click on Create New Label or Manage Labels. If we click on Manage Labels, this is going to pop up within the settings area, which you can get to from over here under this little gear icon under settings. But here we are under labels. We can scroll on down here and create new label. So that's one way you can do it. Let's come on back to our inbox here. And with this particular email selected from YouTube, something about building a man cave, let's go ahead and create two labels and assign to this one email. One label titled YouTube, another label titled Home Improvements. Because technically right now, we have the inbox label assigned to this. Let's go and open this up and I'll show you. See, right here, that's the inbox label. And after we create these other two labels, they're going to show up right next to it. Let's go ahead and do that now. Come on back here with that selected, come up here to labels, click on Create New, give it a title, YouTube. Oh, and by the way, what this is here is the ability to create sublabels. For example, if I wanted to create a sublabel titled How To, or a sublabel titled Music, or a sublabel titled Education, all of which would be underneath the YouTube parent label, then I could do that. But for the sake of simplicity, I want to keep things kind of flowing along here in this video, so maybe we'll tackle that in a different video. Go ahead and click on Create, and you see right here we've got this, what looks to be a folder, but technically it's a label titled YouTube. So now if we go ahead and refresh this, you can see we've got the YouTube label assigned to it. Now we're still in the inbox, but look what happens whenever we go to the YouTube label. The inbox label is showing, but the YouTube label is not. That's because we're in the YouTube label. So if we go ahead and open this email up, you'll see all the labels that are assigned to this right here. Let's go ahead and with the email open, do the same thing, creating another label titled Home Improvement. There you go. And as you can see here, you can undo or learn more about this feature right up here at the top. This pops up with most anything that you do inside of your Gmail account. And you can see we've also got a home improvement that showed up over here in the label section. Now that's the creation of the labels. Let's go ahead and fancy things up a little bit here. As you can see, they're all by default a gray color. If you want to make things a little easier to find visually, then you can add colors to these various labels you're creating. And you do that by coming over to the labels here, and off to the far right you get this drop down arrow. Click on that and you've got these edit features here. For example, the label color. Just hover over that and it shows you the color right here. But you come over here and you can assign any color that you want, or even create a custom color or remove the color. Let's say we want to make this one this kind of a green color here. There you go. And you can see the color right here next to the label as well as on the label inside the email. Let's do the same thing for the YouTube. Come on up here and let's go with yellow. Okay, not such a great idea, but you can see that it does kind of stand out a little bit there. So we open this up and there you go. So now it's a little bit easier to see, and especially if you move this guy down a little bit, at a glance you can see all of your yellow or YouTube labels are here, all of your green or home improvements are here, and so on. Now as far as managing, let's take a look at the managing of the labels. You've got all of your different labels here, and or folders, whatever you want to call them. And again, you can create new labels here. You can hide or show if unread, as well as down here on the custom labels you've created. You've got the edit feature, which basically just allows you to edit the name, or if you wanted to nest it under a sub-label, you can do that here as well. And that's going to bring to an end this video on the labels feature. Thank you very much for watching, and you have a great day. One of the newer items that the fine folks over at Google have added to your Gmail is the Tabs feature. This video will walk you through the setup and use of the Tabs feature in your Gmail account. Now, I've found that some people simply love this new feature and others simply hate it. I personally think that the Tabs feature will come in pretty handy. The more you use it, the better it will get with helping you keep your inbox organized. By that I mean that Google will learn as you assign emails to certain tabs, to the point that Google will begin to auto-add emails to the tabs it thinks you would want them in. Now, starting off, it already does this to a degree, but you can kind of help it along the way if it makes some mistakes here and there. Now, some of my Gmail accounts already have the Tabs feature turned on, and others do not. So I'm going to be using this particular account here that does not already have it turned on. So to enable the Tabs feature, come on over here to the settings icon. That's this little gear thing in the top right corner. Hit that drop-down arrow. Come on down to Configure Inbox, and as you hover over these different tab names, you've got some examples that pop up over here to the right. These are based on the emails that you've received. Now, of course, this being a demo account that is not used at all, there's not a whole lot of activity here for Gmail to pull from. So you can see here under social, I've got one from YouTube. Under promotions, I've got one from Google Offers, merchant newsletters, sale announcements, and so on. So let's go ahead and just check all 5 of these. And I'm going to go ahead and include the starred in primary just to show you, and click Save. And here we are. Now, the very first time you do this, you're going to get a kind of an overlay screen that shows up that gives you the option to learn more about this, or something about a little blue button that says, okay, I got it, which will bring you to this page here. Now, my normal inbox that did have, I think there's 5 emails in there, is down to 1. Those other 4 emails, Google Tabs have already assigned them to particular tabs. Let's go ahead and find out. Under social, these are the ones that Google thinks belong in the social tab. And promotions, nothing in there. Updates, there's this one here. And under forms, there's nothing in there. But as it says here, you can easily move messages between tabs. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Let's come on over here to social, and you simply left click, hold, and drag up to whatever tab you think this would be a better fit in. And the more often you do this, the more Google will learn from that. And in the future, Google will probably go ahead and start adding those, in this example, YouTube, to the updates or the promotions or whatever you decide to have it in. Now, if you want to edit your tabs feature, you come on over here to this plus sign, just click on that, and you're right back here where you can untick these guys here. And as you can see, the primary, that's stuck. That's by default. That's got to stay there. Go and click on Save, and there you are. Kind of right back to where we were in the beginning. And that's a quick look at the new Tabs feature for Gmail. That's going to bring us to the end of this video on Tabs. Thanks for watching, and you have a great day. Organizing your Gmail account can be a bit overwhelming if you are new to some of the awesome features Google provides you in Gmail. This video will show you how to set up filters to more quickly organize your Gmail inbox and future incoming emails. Now, to create a filter, there's actually a couple of different ways you can do this. One is right here from your search box. Hit the drop-down arrow, type in whatever parameters you want to create the filter based on. For example, you want to create a filter of all of the incoming emails that are from Google+. As you can see, as soon as I start typing, this right here lights up, and we can create the filter from within the search. And you would then just click on this link here, fill in the rest of the blanks here that you want to have take place within this filter, and then click on Create Filter. But I'm not going to create a filter through the search box. I just want to point that out that you can in fact do that. Not what I would suggest, but you'll see the similarities in that particular method in other ways that I'm about to show you. Another way is you can open up an email, come on up here, click on More. Okay, let's refresh this here. Click on More, and then you can click on Filter Messages like these. Now, whenever you do this, Gmail will automatically populate one or more of these boxes here with what it thinks you want to create the filter based on. So it's up to you at this point to make any edits if you need to. So if in fact you didn't want it to be based on the from, instead you want it to be based on the subject or words that it does have or words that it doesn't have, then you can make that adjustment right now. And then you go ahead and click on Create Filter, add whatever other actions you want to take place within this filter, and you go to town. So let's say I want to create a filter for Google Plus that every time I receive an email from Google Plus, it's automatically redirected to a label or folder titled Google Plus. It's marked as read, and it's not going to come into the inbox at all. It's going to go straight there. So let's go ahead and create that particular filter. Let's go ahead and delete that out of the search box here. Open this guy up. Come on back up here. Okay, let's go back here, refresh. Open that up, try this again. Filter messages like this. Come on over here, create filter of this type. Skip the inbox, mark it as read. Now actually let's not mark it as read. That way I'll know to, hey, go ahead and read it. But we want to apply the label Google Plus, which currently is not created. So we're going to go ahead and create it right here. Click on New Label. And if you want to create any sub-labels, you can do that right here. And here's our new Google Plus label. And we also, let me see, I think that's basically it. If you also wanted to categorize it in one of the tabs, which I currently do not have enabled, but if you wanted to do that for these categories, you can go ahead and check that box, open that up, choose whichever one you want, and then click on Create Filter. Oh, and by the way, based on the information you provided in your filter, if there are current emails that you have in your Gmail account that match those parameters, they're going to be noted right here. And if you want whatever actions you've lined up here to take place in that filter to go ahead and take place with whatever Gmail has found for you, go ahead and check that box. Currently, Gmail has found 3 matching conversations, and I think there's only like 4 emails in my entire box. Anyway, but let's go ahead and do this. Create filter. Filter was created, and of course, in most everything that you're doing in Gmail, you'll every now and then see this Learn More link. If you want to learn more, click on that link and it'll take you to the help section related to that particular action. You can see right here my Google Plus label has now been populated. Open that up with those 3 conversations that it showed you. Now then, another way to create and manage your filters, come on over here to Settings, click on the Settings, come over here to Filters, and you'll see right here all the filters that you've created up to now will be listed right here, and we've only created the one. You can edit that or you can delete that. Now if you delete the filter, that does not affect any of the emails that have been set in that particular folder or label. You can even create new filters, import filters, or export. And that's going to bring to a close this video on creating filters in your Gmail account. Thanks for watching, and you have a great day. This video will walk you through the Gmail contact feature. Now, you can add contacts several different ways actually. One way is that Gmail auto adds some of your frequent email senders and recipients. This allows for Gmail to auto-complete the send to area whenever you're composing an email and begin typing that person's email address. Now, this contact auto add feature can be toggled on or off over here in the settings area. Come on up here by our gear icon, open that up, click on settings, scroll down about halfway down the page, and right below the people widget is create contacts for autocomplete. You can toggle this on or off. If you want to add the contacts yourself, then you want to click that radio button, come on down here and click on save changes. I don't. I'd rather the auto feature be left on, so I'm just going to leave that alone. Come on back over here to our inbox, discard changes, okay. Now another way to add contacts is by clicking on the contacts option in the upper left corner just under the Google logo, or if this is a business account, there'll be a business logo up here. But right here next to Gmail is that drop down arrow. Click on that, then click on contacts, and here's your contacts area. And you can simply click on New Contact here, add the name of the contact, and you can see right now they're in the My Contacts group. You can create additional groups, and I'll cover that here in just a second. But within the details here, you've got a lot of information you can add. In addition to just adding their name, if you see these three dots here, you can add additional details. Same down here, if you hover over the box, if you come across one that has three dots, hover over that and you can add additional details. For example, add a prefix, first, middle, and last name, as well as a suffix. And a lot of this stuff is pretty straightforward, but once you enter information, you a lot of times have options to add additional fields. For example, we've got the option to add a home email address or a work email address or even a custom email address where you can click on custom and name it whatever you want. And once you do that, and you click outside of the box, and this holds true with a lot of these different features here, you have the option of adding additional details. For example, in this case, adding an additional email address. Same for phone number, and like I had mentioned up here under the address box, you've got these three dots out here. You can add additional details in addition to the simple street address. You can toss in a P.O. box, neighborhood, city, and so on. And you've got these options down here which are pretty cool. Plus you can add additional fields also. For example, this particular person maybe has children and you want to add a custom box here for the names of their children or the ages of their children. You can also do a lot of that stuff right over here in the add a note box. Now up here in the top right, you can add an invite. This is if you have a Google Plus account. You can also add them to particular circles, or you can create a new circle for this particular person or the people that you are creating this group for. Speaking of groups, you come on up here, you can either add them to a current group that you've already created, or you can create a new group. And it automatically adds them. And as you can see here, these are the labels for all the groups that this particular person belongs to. And these groups really do come in handy in helping you keep things organized as far as your contacts are concerned. For example, if you want to mass email a whole bunch of people in this doctors group, then all you have to do is come up here and begin to compose your email and then just type in the to box. For example, we'll come on back up here, type in here, begin to type the name of that group, and it will automatically populate all the members of that group's email addresses right in here. Pretty cool, huh? And if this person has a Google Plus account, chances are pretty good by now their image would already be populated in here from their Google Plus account. If not, you do have the option of adding a picture yourself. As you can see, as I created that group, they're going to be popping up over here under the My Contacts label. You can also create new groups right here. Let's come on back over to our inbox and show you a couple more ways in which you can create contacts. Another way is to hover over the sender, and you can come on down here and click on Add to Contacts. Now, if that person is already added to your contacts, if you hover over the name, you'll see you'll have contact info instead of Add to Contacts. Now, the last way that I know of to add an individual to your contacts is whenever the email is actually opened up, come on over here to the top right corner inside the email, that little drop down box here for more. Click on that, and right here, add, then it gives the name of the sender, in this case Google Plus, to your contacts list. Click on that, they're added to your contacts list. Let's come on back up here to our contacts and I'll show you. My contacts, the Google Plus team right here. But if we open that up, and you'll see that the only details that are filled in are the email address. So I would go ahead and add all the other details while you're there, while you're thinking about it. That way all of your contacts and your groups and your Gmail are as organized as possible. This is the end of our video on Gmail contacts. Thanks for watching, and you have a great day. Gmail has loads of features on its own, but there is a place you can go to add even more functionality to your already awesome Gmail account and make it even awesomer. That place is Gmail Labs. This video will show you how to enable your Gmail Labs feature, and I'm going to show you a couple of neat labs that I think you'll want to put into use right away. Now, these labs are kind of like plugins or applications for your Gmail account. Okay, let's head on into our Gmail settings, right up here into the gear icon, hit that drop down arrow, go into settings. Right along the top here, click on Labs, and you can get a little bit of a preview of the various applications or labs that are available. And all you have to do, if you like one, go ahead and click on Enable over here, come on down here and click on Save Changes. Now before we do that, I need to let you know that these labs can go at a drop of a hat without any notice. And of course, they may also break or change, again, without any notice. A good example is a lab that I've used for quite some time now called Message Sneak Peek. And basically what that allowed you to do, and I say allowed because it's no longer available, is that in the inbox here, it allowed you to hover over an email and it would have a pop-up box similar to this one, only the pop-up box would be a preview of the contents, and you'd be able to preview that email without having to open it up. And I think that particular lab was removed about the same time of the recent changes to Gmail, where they added the tab feature and some kind of a right-click feature to your Gmail account. And at that time, they went ahead and removed that particular lab from the available labs section. But who knows? They may decide to go ahead and make that a permanent part of Gmail in the future. Who knows? Anyway, another one that I like and have used quite a bit in some of my more active Gmail accounts is called Right Side Chat. And basically what it does is it moves your chat feature over to the right side. And if we start typing in here, it'll start bringing up over here those that kind of fits what you're typing in here. You know, it does the Google thing. And here it is right here. Go ahead and click on Enable. Click on Save Changes. And it will refresh, reopen up your Gmail account, and boom, right over here is the chat feature now on the right hand side. Now there's several more here to check out as well. Let's go on back into our labs section, and this undo send is another great one you can use because it allows you to configure the time frame after you hit the send button to where you can undo that send. I think it's up to like 30 seconds, which really is an awful long time, considering that right now without this lab, as soon as you hit the send button, it's gone, it's on its way. But with this lab enabled, you have the opportunity to change your mind within whatever time frame you set it at. I think by default it's set for like 5 seconds. So when you get a chance to come in here, check out some of the available labs, and if you have a suggestion, there you go. And that's going to bring us to the end of this video on enabling and using Gmail Labs. If you're an information junkie like me and are looking for a way to generate analytics on your Gmail activity, then this video is for you. This video will show you a couple of ways to get information on your Gmail usage. One way is more detailed than the other, but both are free. This is called the account activity, and this shows you the activity on your entire Google account, which includes your Gmail activity. And to get there, you have to log into Google, whether it's through your Gmail account, AdWords, whatever. And right now, I've already logged into my Google account. And up here in the top right corner, I'm going to click on my username. It's going to open up this little box here. Click on Account. Over here on the left sidebar, under Account, you want to click on the link Account Activity. You may be asked to provide a password, or it may take you directly to your account activity page. So I'm going to go ahead and put in my password, click on Sign In, and here is the account activity for my entire Google account. And to get to the Gmail stuff, depending upon what all you have on your Google account, you just scroll on down until you get to Gmail. And as you can see, there's no activity found here because, well, this is a dummy account. But if there were, it may look something like this, where it would have the emails sent, emails received, and most contacted. Now, again, this is not as detailed as this next method. So let's go ahead and dive into the second and more detailed method. The second and more detailed method is using a third-party service called Gmail Meter. And you can get here by going to gmailmeter.com. Now there's actually a couple of different ways you can use this service, and I'm going to describe both of them. The first way is signing up directly through the actual gmailmeter.com site, and I'm going to do that first by going to Get Started right here on the front page. There's a lot of information up here too, like for example checking out their FAQs. Let's go ahead and click on Get Started. You have to provide them authorization to get access to your Gmail account, so you do that by clicking on Accept, and then this page pops up where you can actually click on Build My Report. Then it will go through your Gmail account and build your report, and then send an email to that Gmail account with the results. And here's an example of the results that you may get. But this just gives you an idea as to what to look forward to. So that's one way. Now let's head on over to my Gmail account, and let's go ahead and close this out. Log into my Gmail. I've already logged into my Google account, so I'm just going to go to the Gmail link. And this is a report that I did earlier, and since this again is a dummy account, there's not enough emails in that account to create a report. But I'm going to go ahead and show you first off how to deactivate the authorization, because I want to show you the second way and what I consider to be a better way to use Gmail Meter. So let's go ahead and head on into my account. Come on down to security. Down at the very bottom, connected applications and sites. Click on review permissions, and right up here at the top, of course, depending upon how many you've authorized will depend on how many are up here, but I've only authorized Gmail Meter. So I'm going to revoke access to both options here. Okay, so now then let's head on into our Gmail account. Now at this point I'm going to use Gmail Meter, but I'm going to do so through a spreadsheet that I'm going to create within Google Drive. Come on up here to Drive, click on Create Spreadsheet, go ahead and give it a name. I'm going to go ahead and name this one Gmail Meter. Now then, come on up here to Tools, click on Script Gallery. In here you want to type in Gmail Meter, and then click on Search. Now then, click on Install, and they're going to go through the authorization process as before. Go ahead and click on Authorize. Scroll on down, click on Accept, and we're good. Click on Close, and up here in the menu bar you're going to see Gmail Meter on your spreadsheet. At this point, click on Gmail Meter, click on Get a Report. Two options are going to pop up, Monthly Report or Custom Report. You click on this one, then it will go ahead and generate a report based on the last month. Click on Custom Report, and you're able to customize it based on whatever date range you put in here. So the report will be the same, just depending upon the date range you put in here for the custom, or the other option, get it for the month, will be for the last 30 days. And just for the heck of it, I'm going to go ahead and put in the beginning date, ending date, click on Start. But since this is a dummy account, there's not going to be a report generated because there's not enough activity. But I just want to go through the process to kind of show you what will take place. Go ahead and click on Close, and you can see here it's working. Depending upon the amount of activity it's having to go through to generate the report would depend on if it's going to take 3 minutes or an hour and a half before Gmail Meter sends an email to your Gmail account saying your report is done. Now, if after 30 minutes to an hour or so you still have not received an email notifying you that either, like in my case, there's not enough information to generate a report, or that you have a report, then what you might want to do is go ahead and check out your Google Drive by clicking on this link here, which would bring you to this page. And then you would click on the spreadsheet that you had just created earlier to see if in fact that information has been populated on that spreadsheet. And it would look just like this, except it would have numbers and information in here. Because this email address is a dummy account, there's no information on here except for the titles. And there's two sheets. This sheet here, that would give you the email addresses of the people that are sending you emails, number of emails received by them, and the number of emails that you sent to them. There's also a second sheet with more information that would give you the dates of those emails, days of the week, thread IDs, and so on. I'm sure you'll agree with me that this method is the best of the two. And that's going to bring us to the end of this video on generating analytic reports for your Gmail account. Thank you very much for watching, and you have a great day.